Welcome back to 3 Point View. You're here with us on Hump Day, Wednesday, Super Bowl prediction time. What's wrong?
I'm wearing the same clothes.
So anyway, we played with the notion that the Super Bowl might consist of a matchup of Keenum
A bunch of no names.
or Foles versus a Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
Are those some sexy picks or what?
The NFL actually needs the Patriots to win. Period. Like, I'm not sure what the ratings would be on a Minnesota-Jacksonville Super Bowl, but I bet you they wouldn't be as high as Super Bowls in recent years.
The comparison that we talked about off camera would be something like the Detroit Pistons against the San Antonio Spurs. And I'm not sure about the year, but I want to say like 08, somewhere around there is like one of the worst rated NBA Finals games.
Yeah, it'd be a
It'd be
little
somewhere
rough.
up there if Brady ain't in there.
It'd be a little rough.
I'm a sports addict, so I'm gonna watch it no matter what. But the casual fan
Right.
is probably gonna be like, I just want to see the commercials and who's performing and
See,
halftime.
what would be exciting for me is which one of these dumpster fire quarterbacks are going to prove
Why are they
themselves.
dumpster fires? They're not dumpster fires.
They're just dumpy quarterbacks. They just don't have the name. They don't have the stats. They're journeymen. They're, all that stuff.
Well,
If we were going to pick a team and draft a team, would we pick any of those three?
my thing is, there's a guy by the name of Steve Young, who was played in the USFL.
Yeah, and he played at Tampa.
He went to Tampa. He was a backup forever.
Right.
Wouldn't he be considered like he said when he walked on the field for years? Where's Joe at? Like that's what he heard. He's like, I always heard that one guy. But wouldn't he be considered at this point like Keenum, just like this guy?
because he didn't go from team to team.
Keenum
to
was a
team to
great
team.
college quarterback.
Right.
Steve Young was a great college
He
quarterback.
might.
They both had those stats.
Mm-hmm.
But until Young got that opportunity,
But Keenum was with different teams, NFL teams.
so
NFL
was Young.
teams.
He wasn't even in the NFL. He was in the
Either was
USFL.
Flutie, either was Warren Moon, but I would never consider them dumpster fire quarterbacks.
Okay, but at this point, his stats are way better than what Steve
You're
Young were.
talking about an all-time great.
I'm not. I'm
Steve
saying
Young.
at this point, if you rewind to 1989 and you're talking about Steve Young and look at his stats compared to Case Keenum's at that time, and he came into a good situation just like Keenum came into this situation, that's where I'm going with this.
Is it
Yes and
completely
no.
out?
I'm just saying. I think there's
I
more.
get- I get what you're saying.
I think there's more time to distinguish him as a dumpster fire.
Is it completely out of realm to mention one of these three quarterbacks that we're referring to as being a top quarterback in the future?
No.
So at this point, it's kind of like you
But
see what he's.
why
At this point, it's also like, oh,
You got
geez.
two journeymen. You got two
Keenum
people who
and
were drafted
Foles.
by the teams. Brady and Bortles. Bortles is what, in his fourth year?
What
fifth
about the
year?
Rams right now? What they're thinking?
With what?
Two of their backups
Oh,
are
yeah.
both about to might be in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
That's insane.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
I'd be like, what are they, you know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me?
Goff. Jeez.
So,
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because if you got Tom Brady in the Super Bowl against Nick Foles or against Case Keenum, who are you going to be rooting for? Because I'm rooting for the underdog.
I want Keenum.
I'm rooting for the
I'm
underdog.
rooting for Keenum. I just
Yeah.
want him to start slinging.
Just because that alone, I think would bring viewers to watch. Like, can the great Tom Brady,
Taken down
be
by.
taken down by the little Case Keenum?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The little guy.
Oh, he's a little
So-
case guy for you. So, we're talking about the no names. Let's talk about the big names. Drew Brees just thought he had a game-winning touchdown.
I thought he did.
Drive
too.
to win and go back to the NFC Championship. Case Keenum thought different. So, but Drew Brees, when it's all said and done, he's going to own every single.
Statistical.
He's going to break Brett Favre, all his records. Drew Brees is going to have them all by the time it's all said and done. And Big
You
Ben,
know what? Michael
Big
Jordan
Ben,
don't got all the records either.
who's that?
Michael Jordan don't
No, he
have all
don't.
the records either.
So,
But he's considered the greatest ever.
He's not comparable to.
Yes, he is.
You're
Yes.
in your own little mind.
Drew Brees is better than Brett Favre?
No.
Yeah.
Woo, that's a whole other subject. So anyway, what Breeze has a MVP, has a Super Bowl. Tom Brady, he's already up in the stratosphere. Like he has nothing else to prove.
Right.
he can play till he's 45, but I think Drew Brees will play till he's 46 just to own the records. And then
I don't think Brees needs to even play that long to beat Tom Brady.
no, he's not gonna. He's not. So he's already passed him. He's around 70,000 right now, right? So then you got Big Ben, 2 Super Bowls. Why? If you like Tom Brady, why does he wake up to get his head smashed in to do this? It's just about competition.
Love the game, love your
the game,
teammates.
competition.
You know,
Being there for the next. So,
I personally don't want to really play basketball and injure myself when I'm playing basketball, but for some reason, this idiot over here can convince me to go play basketball. You know, it's the same thing as Big Ben. He's got teammates on that team that, you know, they're best friends. They've been around each other for years. Come back and play. We need you.
you got people that, we talked about this a few months back. You're like how Lonzo Ball lifts his teammates.
Yeah.
To play better. That's what these type of quarterbacks are.
Absolutely.
And, when we play, I would try to get you guys to play basketball or backyard football.
I hate it.
And
Hamstring
I don't know. I
hurts.
felt like I was one of those guys who would my energy would feed off you guys, and we would just go at it against whoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
So back to the question. When it's all said and done, Brady is on a whole nother level. I'm not even going there. He might win. How many Super Bowls will this be? 6?
Yeah.
A ring
he's
for
going
the
for the thumb.
A ring.
Oh wait, no, he's got 5.
He's got 5. So
Yeah,
he'll
he's got
be
5.
on the other hand.
Yeah.
So
2 thumbs
he- you're just salty because he's past Joe
Shut
Montana.
up.
He'll be past Joe Montana and Steve Young combined.
Would you have felt better if Tom Brady got traded to San Fran than Jimmy G?
No, I'm glad it worked out the way it did. With Tom Brady, as much as it really hurts me to give him the credit of being the GOAT, I'm glad it was somebody who was a Niners fan.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
a
he
Joe
was a Niners
Montana
fan.
growing up.
I'll leave it there. I don't want to touch it.
They had
Niners
season tickets.
connections.
You know, Tom Brady was actually there for the catch,
Yeah.
the Dwight Clark catch.
Mm-hmm.
So Big Ben is definitely not.
He's
he's-
36.
He's not seasoning as well as
Oh.
Have you noticed lately he's been doing those laterals
He's
and
not
that
eating,
pitches?
he's
He hasn't
definitely
been
not
trying-
eating avocado ice cream. He's eating.
Have you tried avocado ice cream?
No.
I bet you there's one person here that probably has.
He strikes me as an avocado eater. That's for sure.
Have
They're
you
not
tried
bad.
avocado
They're not
ice
bad.
cream?
Not ice cream.
With some
No,
kale.
with some kale mixed
I
in.
like
He ate it
kale.
with a kale
You got,
spoon.
you got disposable wet wipes in your bathroom, don't you?
All right.
Love it.
So
Kale's not.
are all three we know Brady is are Breeze and Big Ben first ballot Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
All three of them.
All
Big
three.
Ben?
All three
All
of
three.
them.
And is Breeze, as far as top quarterbacks all time, is he in the top 5?
Statistic wise,
No, I'm not talking statistic wise because Joe Montana.
I wouldn't put Drew Brees on my team to win a game.
Statistically, Joe Montana is not top 5 in any
Last 30
statistical
seconds
category.
of the game, name 3 quarterbacks you would rather have.
Tom Brady,
in the drive.
Tom Brady, John Elway, Joe Montana.
I can't argue with those three.
Those are the 3 clutch guys.
No,
He might throw a pick.
he very well could throw a pick.
So
It would be an exciting pick.
It would be a crossbody 70-yard pick.
It'd be an exciting pick, yes.
But you know what? That guy makes you jump out of your seat more than all. of
I
them
get
other
that,
ones.
but you said who do you want to win the
Yeah,
game?
I know.
Not watch the game.
I'm taking Favre, Elway. I like Roethlisberger,
So who's your picks?
but I would go Brady.
Who's your picks for the actual Super Bowl then?
Well, originally it was the Saints
Yeah.
versus the Patriots.
I said Saints originally I said
Rams.
Rams, but I don't know what that happened. That was just horrible.
I mean, now I want to say Minnesota, New England.
I'm on Minnesota, New England too. I don't see Philly being able to maintain against what I just watched on TV with Minnesota.
I've watched about 3 Philly games in the past 4 weeks, and I want to gouge my eyes out. I
I
can't
want to say
watch
it's
it.
more likely that Jacksonville upsets New England than it is
Right.
Minnesota losing to
Is
Philly.
anybody else drinking this Jay Ajayi juice?
No.
Not
He's
really.
very active to do nothing. Like he's like, and he like goes nowhere. He's like got a turbo button that goes nowhere.
He's disappointed.
It's like when you get somebody in the emergency room, and you give them that shock.
Yeah.
And all they do is, and then they stay in the same spot.
Right, yeah, pretty much, yeah. He's the defibrillator
Right.
of running backs. Right, Brandon?
He hurt my fantasy team this year.
Wait a
He
minute.
was my number one.
Brandon's
pick.
team predicted the AFC and NFC championship games. Look out. No, I'm just messing. You had too many Kansas City Chiefs on your team. So, Clint's going with Minnesota
Minnesota, New
and
England.
New England.
I'm gonna-
Nobody's giving up.
They're the
Nobody's
underdogs.
giving the Jaguars a shot. Blake Bortles.
Honestly, like I said, it's more likely that Jacksonville beats New England than it is Philly beating Minnesota. Let me see something real quick.
Okay, well, he's doing that. I'm going to give my picks. I'm going to say New England, which I said in the first place. And I don't want to go with Foles. I don't want to go with Sunshine from Remember the Titans. Are you really flipping a coin? I'm going with
It's
I'm
New
going
England.
Minnesota Vikings. I like their offense. I like how they spread the ball around. I'm rooting for Case Keenum. I'm not rooting for Tom Brady. Just don't. First off, I'm a Buckeye fan. He's Michigan, even though I never seen the field.
I will say this though: if Jacksonville beats New England and they play
It's
Minnesota,
Jackson. That's going to be a nasty game.
Jacksonville's
to watch.
going to eat up Minnesota and Case Keenum, and Jacksonville's going to be the
Offensively.
Super Bowl champs.
Yeah, they have Fournette's would be the key in that game. He's a
He's a
beast
monster.
of a running back, and that their defense really makes me nervous for New England. I can see them shaking.
Those two
Brady.
defenses banging heads. I see
Oh.
both quarterbacks
being
throwing two
in
picks
trouble.
at least a piece.
Being in trouble.
What if they just rip through that line? What if they rip through that line, shred Brady's ACL? Who's the backup now?
Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer.
What if Minnesota?
Then now you have Brian Hoyer, Blake Bortles, Case Keenum, Nick Foles. Who's the halftime show?
Oh my! Not Justin Timberlake. He got injured.
Yeah,
Justin
before the
Timberlake.
show.
Justin
So
Timberlake's
it's your
backup.
it's your local band down at the local bar.
New Kids on the Block's gonna be the halftime show for a Blake
Marky
Bortles.
Mark
run-
Wahlberg shows up and.
You don't even like when you say Marky Mark. Have you ever seen that where they go, the media goes, Marky Mark, and he just gives them the eye like he's going to kick their ass.
Well, you got Minnesota, Jacksonville, defensive game, all game, final score 3-0.
And if,
Or 2-0.
if I'm Minnesota and the game's in my home, I'm trying to convince somebody to let me open up the roof on the guys
Here-
in the
here-
Sunshine
here-
State.
Here's a little
Freeze those
tidbit of knowledge for you. Whenever two defensive teams go up against each other, it's always the other way, and that's where Vegas makes their most money if you look back in time. We'll be back at you tomorrow, Thursday, here at 3 Point View.